Okay, this lab is post-reflective XSS. So let's launch the lab and try a basic attack. Okay, so that basic attack is the tag appears to have got through. We'll just check the source. Okay, so the next step is to get our payload. And to put that into script tags. Okay, so that's fired off easily enough. However, if we look in the URL, our payload isn't there. So if we do what we did before and paste that into the headless browser, we've not solved the lab. And what's different here is that the form uses the post method. So if we look at the source code of this page, see, we've got the form action and the method is post. Now, there is a clue on this page. It says to help exploit this, we can use our payload hosting lab. Okay. So let's go back to main XSSy app, and within my labs, we've got payload hosting lab, and every user gets this lab. It's automatically created when the user account is created. So what we can do is we can take this form. In fact, actually what I'm going to do is take the whole page and just to clear some of this up, I'm just going to remove some of this stuff which is not relevant to us, but we've at least now got a well-formed HTML document. Okay, so what we can do is save the lab, and then we can preview this. Okay. Oh, and I've just omitted to do one thing there, which is this form action. Now, what I need to do is include the full URL of the target. So this is the target lab. So there we go. Now we've got the full URL. Okay, I'm just going to close these tabs just so I know where I'm up to. And preview the lab. And just notice the URL currently says 5MC. If we put in our payload, we've gone to a different site and our payload has got through. Okay, so the next stage, just put this back here, is to get our payload. What I'm going to do is put this in the value of the text field. So now we may need a bit more escaping, but that will do as a sort of first attempt. Let's go back and okay, it looks like we got away without any more escaping. So if we hit submit. Okay, so we've got this page that we're hosting, and when you click submit, it does the exploit. But what we need to do is take out the user interaction. We need this to automatically trigger. And what we can do is we can use an onload event on the body. So if we do document.forms0.submit, and I'll just start right from here. So one click, and there we go. So we've got an exploit that's triggered without interaction. Okay. And I'm just going to copy the link address from here, and now we can go back to the lab page and we can submit our link here. Notice that unlike previous labs where we'd submitted a URL that was on the target lab, in this case we're submitting a URL that's on our payload hosting lab. Okay, so let's submit that. And there we go. We've solved the lab. So when it comes to practical XSS exploitation, it's very common that the attacker needs to host some kind of file. Even in this simple example where it's just a post request. And when you're using XSSy, it's the payload hosting lab that you can use to do that. And just one consideration on XSS with post requests. If there's any kind of CSRF protection, often the XSS is non-exploitable. I quite often see pen test reports where people have flagged issues as high risk, but they're in fact non-exploitable because of the CSRF protections. And bear in mind as well that same site cookies are a CSRF protection. So often it can be quite difficult to exploit post requests. On XSSy, of course, all the labs are the same site. They're different subdomains, but same site cookies apply across subdomains. They're same site, not same origin. So in this case, they're still exploitable. Okay, I'd invite you to have a play around with this because it's quite a powerful feature.